And now I must summon my fellow podcasteers by playing this extraordinary violin that I was given by Roberto Feinstein-Navarius.
Hey, listen, fuckhead. You know, you can do whatever you want to do. You can put me on mute. You can turn the goddamn channel for all I care. What the fuck are you doing? And you're listening to us now. So obviously you didn't hit the fucking mute switch tonight, asshole.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Royal Grumble. I'm your host, Graham, and sitting in the corner to my left, he's delightful, like an extraordinary xylophone. It is Dan.
Hi.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm alright.
Very good. And sitting in the corner to my right, this man is the Royal Grumble's own dilapidated boat. It's Daryl. How you doing, Daryl?
Yeah, I'll protect my Hardy from fireworks.
That wasn't too bad, I think, this week. I was quite nice to you.
No, you said worse off air.
That is
You
true.
usually make racist remarks towards me, don't you?
I can neither confirm nor deny these reports. So, you guys went to a wrestling show today. Not today. You guys went to a wrestling show. You guys went to a wrestling show this week.
Yeah, we're all right.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
we didn't
fun.
invite you, though, did we?
No.
No. We don't associate with you outside this room.
It was a double date.
Sometimes I have to knock just to get in. I climbed in the window once.
Yeah, we're a double date. It was it was the on the 1 year anniversary that me and my girlfriend had our first date. I took her to Dirty Corporation in Sheffield.
To watch who at Southside?
Badass Billy Gunn and D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo Brown was a highlight as well.
Yeah, it was alright with D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, there's a few really good matches. Best just talk about those. Like D'Lo Brown and Martin Kirby versus the Models was really fun.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that one. The women's match, and I can't remember. I don't know.
Kaylee Ray were in it.
Oh yeah, so Kaylee Ray, Casey Owens, Alex Windsor, and Nixon Newell, and that was really good.
Is it Windsor? I thought it was Winter.
It's Windsor, I think.
Oh.
But yeah,
I thought it was cool
they had a
name, not now.
match that was really good. Billy Gunn there was a lot of comedy on it.
I interviewed Kaylee Ray once.
Oh, yeah, what for?
My dissertation.
Oh,
I remember that.
Yeah, she was nice. I also interviewed Davey Blaze for my dissertation, which I'm pretty sure Kid Fight probably finds hilarious that Davey Blaze, of all people, is cited in a dissertation. I'll explain this to you because I can tell you're not sure, Daryl. Basically, he's generally known to be quite a stupid person.
is David Blaze the one whose penis I've seen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Penis cast.
He thought the sun and moon were the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think it's definitely to his credit that he's cited in a dissertation somewhere in the banks of the University of Hull. Lucky man.
And you've never been to Hull.
No. What else?
Yeah, the match of the night was Tommy End versus Sami Callihan. That's the match I went to see, and it was just two guys. Neither of them, both of them thought, yeah, let's make wrestling real, and just beat the piss out of each other, and it was great. It was really good as well because my girlfriend had only ever seen Sami Callihan as the shitty hacker on NXT, so she was pleasantly surprised by how good a wrestler he is.
Yeah, this is where we disagree on matches because you thought that was the best match of the night. My favourite match was the Billy Gunn match because they told him, oh yeah, you're going to wrestle our heavyweight champion and you've got 20 minutes. And he went, 20 minutes? I've got like 5 minutes of wrestling in me. So it was 15 minutes of promo and stalling before the match. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
And it was a 5-minute match, but it was glorious because he came, got paid, had an entertaining match, and walked out of there. I imagine that Sami Callihan limped out of there, to be honest.
Yeah, there was a bit in the match where Tommy End was full on kicking him in the chest, and he was just like taking it and laughing in his face while he was doing it.
Yeah.
And you could hear every kick connect, and it was like, he's going to be really hurting on that plane home, but it was great.
I appreciate the effort that they went to, and I was entertained. I'm not saying it was a shit match, but I like it when wrestlers get away with not doing a lot.
Well, that's what the first match was like.
Yeah, the model.
D'Lo and Kirby versus the Models. That was just all fun, and it was really, really great, that match. I really enjoyed it.
Ultimately, who are the real winners there? Is it D'Lo and is it Billy Gunn, or is it Tommy End and Sami Callihan? Tommy End, He's still booked for loads of indie dates. He's booked for the Bowler and whatever else.
Yeah.
What's the deal with him going to WWE? I thought he was supposed to be
The
going.
rumour is September when he's going. Bowler happens in September, so that could be his final dates.
Yeah, he's not doing any more WXW, is he?
Yeah.
That's like his home promotion.
I was going to say, yeah, because isn't he? He's European, isn't he?
Amsterdam, I think he's from.
So like WXW in Germany makes sense. Would be probably the local big promotion for him. Yeah, because it confused me seeing that it was announced for the Bowler. I know we're not really going to talk about the Bowler. The Bowler lineup looks pretty good. It's got like John Hennigan, Cody Rhodes, basically anyone who's sort of quite good in the indies at the moment, like Will Ospreay and all these guys. I think Zack Sabre Jr. might be there as well.
I think he's PWG champion.
Yeah, so it would make sense.
Yeah,
I know
Jack Gallagher is there.
Jack Gallagher and one of the Duns.
Pete Dunne.
That's the one, yeah. Which is pretty good.
One of the Duns was on the show we went to see. Was that him or the other one?
No, the other one was at Rev Pro.
Wait, so which one did we see?
We saw JT Dunn.
Is that not his brother?
I have no idea.
Okay, we saw somebody called that's had Dunn on his
They're all
pants.
from like the same area.
Richard Dunn.
So, yeah.
I don't know. He was a Southside Tag Team Champion.
Probably not Richard Dunn then.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
Is he related to Stephen Dunn?
Who's Stephen Dunn?
Have you not seen the tag team Timothy Well and Stephen Dunn?
Well done.
Well done. They're one of my favourites.
Why did I just led you in? Brilliant. Fantastic. Now, Daryl, I want to ask you something about what happened on Sunday, because I gather that you nearly missed the show, or you were nearly late back from the show, or something along those lines.
Yeah, well, a wild Nidoran appeared.
You've been fucking around with Pokemon Go again, haven't you?
I fucking love Pokemon Go.
You know who else has been fucking around with Pokemon Go?
Go on.
Allegedly, according to his Twitter.
Go on.
Vince McMahon.
Of course he has.
He found a Ghastly in his gym and tweeted it.
So he's on gas in his gym, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm not casting any aspersions about Vince McMahon. I wouldn't dare.
I don't imagine Pokemon's Vince McMahon's thing.
Neither do I, but then I don't imagine Twitter is Vince McMahon's thing.
No, see, somebody else probably tweets for him, so somebody else is probably doing Pokemon Go and just tweeting it. He doesn't know about it.
You know, like that scene in God, what is it? The scene with is it Community with Steve Buscemi?
Which one? Oh, the one that the picture was going around. I think that's from 30 Rock.
It's 30 Rock. You're right. Yeah. All these sort of self-referential sort of American things when they get turned into memes, I forget after a while. But yeah, Steve Buscemi from 30 Rock, where he's got the skateboard over his head. He's got like the cap on. He's like, "Hello, fellow young people." I imagine that's how Vince McMahon lives his life. Walking around going, "Hey kids, it's me, your young hip friend, Vince McMahon." And they're like, "Vince, you're older than my granddad." Speaking of young hip people, Neville's back. He wasn't on TV, but he was on a dark match on SmackDown.
Got a beard.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a beard now.
Oh, I didn't see the picture.
I've seen him recently. What have I seen him on? Maybe a bracketology thing. Maybe.
Was he on that?
Yeah, they had.
I've seen him on something. I've seen him with a beard. Yeah, but I don't know what it was. He had a polo shirt on and he had a little beard. I saw that.
I watched the bracketology thing, but I mustn't have.
It might not have been. I've seen him on something on the network.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah, he's back, so it looks like he'll probably be back in time for the draft next week.
Yeah, they're probably holding him off TV properly until then. Just getting back in the ring, doing a few bits.
Which makes sense. I mean, after all, there's no benefit in bringing him back 1 week before the draft. So once the draft comes up, put him in. They've also announced, by the way, that WWE Network are going to be second screening on the draft. So when the SmackDown show is on next week, they'll be playing like a second screen on the network. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. Joey Styles is involved with it somehow, but I think that might be because he's involved with the website. I don't know if this is going to be maybe extra draft picks or if it's going to be, information about the draft or something like that. But essentially, they're using the network to supplement the TV show, which actually I think is quite a good idea. Yeah,
it's just, it'll be at 2 in the morning?
Well, I'll be up. So
yeah, you'll be fine.
At Royal Grumble Pod, you can find us on Twitter. I will be live tweeting the SmackDown draft next week.
So second screen, is that where something happens at literally the same time as what is happening on TV?
So if you imagine, say on the TV, it came up, and I don't know if this is how it's going to work, but say on the TV it came up with John Cena's drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah.
They might have on the second screen loads of stats about John Cena, how he's drafted with 4, information about him, and then I would assume when it goes to ad breaks, they might be saying, they'll probably have like the pre-show sort of.
Oh, so it's not just stuff in the ad breaks then, because they did that for a while. I don't know if it was on the network or they just WWE.com. They They used to do stuff in the ad breaks, didn't they?
It was WWE.com. It was WWE Unlimited, and I think USA shut them down on it because at some point they went, "What? You're fucking screaming stuff during the adverts that are paying you to be in your show. Could you stop that, please?" And funnily enough, they did.
If they do, I'm guessing they'll do the supplemental draft like they used to do as well. So that'll be on the network too.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, so that's how you'll find out where the social outcasts are going.
Are you implying that the Social Outcast won't be one of the top 10 picks?
Yeah.
You're not just implying it, outright stating it.
Yeah.
As you should be. But I'm quite interested in this because it's quite a good idea to use the network for this sort of thing.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Just to clarify again, we will be doing a draft show next week. So if you're reacting to, by the time they'll listen to this, the draft will be 2 days away.
Yeah.
Or will have happened, depending on when you listen.
Basically, when it's first available, it's available on Sunday. The draft's on a Tuesday. Yeah. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And the following Sunday, we'll be talking about the draft. So do enjoy that.
Yes.
Right. Last week. Oh, sorry. One more thing I wanted to mention about the draft before we go. They announced on Raw that it's going to not only be, they announced that Shane's going to be in charge of SmackDown, Stephanie's going to be in charge of Raw, and they're both going to have general managers as well as commissioners. So Shane's the commissioner of SmackDown.
They can't make their mind up, can they?
No.
Because at first they were going to be the general managers.
Yep.
Then they got COO.
Yep.
And then they realised, wait, Triple H is the COO. They can't be the COOs.
That's definitely what it was, isn't it?
So Vince went, we're going to have something new. We're going to have the commissioner. Can you name me a commissioner that they've had before?
Shawn Michaels.
Can you name me another one?
William Regal.
Can you name me another one?
Mick Foley.
Can you name me another one?
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. I was thinking, I wonder if he's going to know Sergeant Slaughter.
Were there any others?
I don't think so.
Steve Austin wasn't. He technically was, but he was really the sheriff.
No, so he wasn't commissioner, he was the sheriff.
Yeah, he
had a different job title.
Very different.
Yeah, specifically made for him.
Absolutely. Don't even entertain the thought.
They even made a joke on Raw about Vince has changed his mind. Like, he actually said it. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to go out there. I think I've made my mind up, but I might change my mind." Like, that's great, Vince.
I think Meltzer, it was either Meltzer or Alvarez said that was the funniest joke they've heard on Raw ever. Now, that's a bit of hyperbole, but nonetheless, it was amusing to see them poke fun at the fact that Vince changes his mind like he changes his pants.
You'd hope anyway.
We assume that he changes his pants quite often. The Cruiserweight Classic has already aired. The first episode of the Cruiserweight Classic as a follow-up. Was it after or before NXT? Either way, we're going to be covering the Cruiserweight Classic a bit more on the website due to the way that we tape, our taping schedule on recording. So if you go to royalgrumble.weebly.com, you will find out. I'm going to write an article about the Cruiserweight Classic. Dan, I think you're going to do some information about the G1 when the G1 begins.
I think the G1 will be pretty much covered on the website, like the Cruiserweight Classic will be. Are you going to do weekly episodes?
I will do it as much as I possibly can. So visit royalgrumble.weebly.com and find out our information about these two tournaments. Daryl, what tournament are you going to do about?
Oh, fucking doing out for this show.
Are you not doing the Emirates Cup 2016?
I'm a fuck, mate.
Oh, that's right, it was cancelled.
Yeah. I might do King of Europe Cup 2007. Might just cover that for crack.
You could go to Southside in October, back to the corporation where they do Queen of the Ring.
I would, but when I was last at Southside, which was a few days ago, I'd rather not.
I'll have to bleep that or something.
Definitely,
one of them got.
Right, definitely bleep what he just said. Definitely bleep it. And I want everyone to know that it was bleeped. Okay? Bleep.
Anyway.
Pause for a second whilst we digest what we've just heard and you haven't. Anyway, on we go. So, last week we talked about MMA fighters transitioning into wrestling. We're going to talk about the MMA fighter turned the wrestler turned MMA fighter, the Beast, the Conqueror, Brock Lesnar, beat Mark Hunt over 3 rounds. What a guy.
Did you cry, Dan? Did you cry?
The greatest combat athlete of all time.
Yeah, did you cry?
The greatest combat
because you didn't want him to win. You didn't want him to win, Dan.
I thought, no, it's not I didn't want him to win. I thought Mark Hunt would win.
If we play it back, if the listeners go back and download the last week, you didn't want him to win.
I said Mark Hunt would win. I was wrong about it because Brock Lesnar did the perfect game plan against him.
You were what?
He took him down.
You were what about it? Say again.
I was wrong.
Yay!
It's the fight game. Anything can happen.
I'm so happy Brock Lesnar won.
Oh, I'm fucking thrilled. The sad part about it is I'm almost a little bit disappointed he's coming back to WWE because he was so much fun in the UFC despite essentially just laying on a bloke for 3 rounds. I didn't give a fuck. It's Brock fucking Lesnar. He's massive. He does what he fucking likes.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
In the press conference. But did you see the bit that played on Raw from the press conference? But did you see the uncut press conference?
No.
Okay, so the question they asked him were something like, "Oh, you obviously got your thing with Randy Orton, but you've won? Are you allowed another fight, or do you have to discuss it with Vince?" And he went, "I'm Brock Lesnar, and I do whatever I want." But they obviously cut all the question out, and it was just like, "I'm Brock Lesnar, I do whatever I want."
What was even really funny about that is just before the Brock Lesnar fight, there was Daniel Cormier versus Anderson Silva. There was a lot of stuff that happened to go towards that fight. Anderson Silva's a UFC legend. And Daniel Cormier pretty much had the same game plan as Brock Lesnar did. He just took him down, held him down. Anderson Silva actually did a good job at stopping him, but this is all getting too technical. And the crowd booed the shit out of it. They were really angry about that one. But then Brock Lesnar does the exact same thing afterwards, and the crowd loved it.
Because it's Brock fucking Lesnar.
Yeah.
Now, admit, I took a bit of an issue, and not to digress or talk too much about MMA, but I took a bit of an issue with the crowd having a go at Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, I got really pissed.
That's just how he's supposed to do it. I know you'll be pissed off because you fucking love Anderson Silva.
Yeah, I didn't mind that he lost because he took it on a few days' notice and stuff like that. So I didn't really expect him to win. I wanted it to be stood up because that's where he's more effective, and I quite like it when he puts his hands down and then does a thigh punch.
You didn't get that at the end of the fight because Daniel Cormier obviously got affected and let him stand up and had to try trading with him and got hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really funny. It's just
I remember watching it at the end thinking, when Silva was sort of landing a few blows on him towards the end, and then Cormier obviously had to shut him down. I remember it was like, Daryl will be fucking loving that.
Yeah,
Absolutely fucking loving it. But that just shows you, right? MMA, UFC 200, ultimately disappointing. Wrestling, it's going to be all right. So we do what you like. Yeah. It doesn't always work out. Look at WrestleMania this year, for example.
Are we a bit annoyed he's wrestling Randy Orton at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
I think it's funny, actually, because the thing with Brock is, I think you wanted to pose the question, and I'm going to pose it to you guys. Where do they go with Brock from here? Obviously, they're going to Randy Orton at SummerSlam, and I get why they're doing that. It's a big name match, but where do they go now? Because despite the fact that he's more over than he's ever been, arguably since he started in WWE in 2012, in his most recent spell, where is there for him to go? Apart from the obvious, which I think they're probably leading up to, which is the match with Roman, the actual singles match that doesn't end up as a triple threat. And it will happen.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Daryl? Where are they going with
I'd have never took belt off him.
Yeah, I agree, actually, but go on.
Yeah, so I'd have had him walk out with the WWE belt, kick fuck out of Mark Hunt, and then have it raised above his head and end up Dana White put it around his fucking waist.
That's the thing we didn't actually talk about. They did the WWE plug for SummerSlam, and they had Chuck Liddell do it. And Chuck Liddell was so funny because his speech is a bit slurred nowadays. He's took a few shots to the head, and he's there clearly looking at the auto cue, pretending to be interested in the fact that Brock Lesnar's doing his fake fighting still.
He's not looking at auto cue, mate. I don't think he can read.
He's just completely looking off camera. You can tell us it, right? Look into the camera and say it. So I'll look over here and say this about Brock Lesnar, and he's going to fight Randy Orton, and it was kind of cringeworthy and funny.
They also plugged WWE 2K16, by the way.
Yeah, on BT Sport, because they have ad breaks.
2K17.
Sorry, yeah, my bad.
On BT Sport, because they have ad breaks, it was in every ad break. So on the actual pay-per-view, they had one thing. On British TV, we had one every single ad break. It was a lot.
At least they've figured that out, though. At least because apparently in America, UFC didn't buy any promo time on Raw. Now, don't get me wrong, UFC is a much bigger organisation than Raw, but you'd have thought at least at one point they'd have gone, well, maybe some of these wrestling geeks will want to fucking come and watch our MMA. Yeah. But
they're a bit busy being sold.
At least here, WWE or it's not THQ anymore, it's 2K, would have gone, well, we might as well fucking try and sell our Brock Lesnar game during the Brock Lesnar fight. So at least they had some sense to do that.
It was one of the sponsors, weren't it? I'm sure it popped up at the start.
Of BT Sports coverage?
No, of the actual UFC broadcast. I'm sure
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah, it was brought to him by 2K17, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, especially considering that UFC's deal was with EA, so I don't imagine EA were overly pleased with that.
Well, EA needs to buy fucking time on air, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So Brock's now the number 8 ranked heavyweight, having beaten the number 8 ranked heavyweight, which, if nothing else, tells you something about the fact that there's not many heavyweights. But it's got to be asked, should he get a title shot?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, he should. No, you're wrong, because he should.
Right,
and here's
wait,
why.
wait.
Whoa, don't
Go on.
no, you shut up and you shut up. Right. Here's why he should get a title shot. Because I want to see Brock Lesnar as the UFC and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the champion of the fucking world, in both the ring, in both the octagon, showing off his belts, giving the finger to the crowd, telling them he's going to drink whatever fucking beer he wants, having Paul Heyman behind him in WWE, having, I don't know, Billy Bollocks, the fucking UFC trainer, behind him in UFC. Because he's the king of the world.
The man of champions, Billy Bollocks.
I think they're talking.
That was funnier than it should have been.
Anyway, the thing they're talking about, if Brock comes back, it might be Cain Velasquez. And if it is, Brock's going to get murdered in that fight like he did the first time. Because Brock still has the scar on his face from what Cain did to him.
Yeah,
last
but
time.
that's when he had diverticulitis, mate.
Yeah, but Cain also had a torn knee in that fight as well.
Yeah, but
And
did
still
he
managed to
nearly
tag her
die from a torn knee?
No.
Brock Lesnar nearly died. This is the story I've been told. Brock Lesnar nearly died.
I believe the story.
Yeah. I know he's come back and he's a conqueror.
And he's cool with Canada now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, he definitely should have a title shot, and I'll tell you why. Because Dana White and the UFC and the new UFC's new owners fucking love money.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. I
And
fucking love money.
Also, in agreement with you, they're just making the middleweight fight between Michael Bisping and Dan Henderson,
yeah.
which is not a fight anyone thought was going to happen for the title. I'm really glad that fight's happening. I'm really excited for it.
Are we going to try and go to that? Like,
I genuinely am. Like,
think we should
that's
try.
my favourite fighter against another one of my favourite fighters. I'm definitely going.
Even I know about that because of the fucking Dan Henderson flying smack to the face of Michael Bisping. And I quite like Michael Bisping now.
Yeah.
But fucking even I, a non-MMA fan who only watches Brock Lesnar's shows, was called attention to that because it was on UFC 100. And even I'm interested in seeing that. But yeah, I think, Daryl, you're right. Dan, you're wrong, mate. No. None of this Cain Velasquez bollocks. It's not a competition. It's a money-making business.
Yeah.
I want to see Brock Lesnar, WWE and UFC king of the world.
Another thing that might help you, the guy who's heading up the company that's bought UFC, WME Group.
No.
Have you ever watched Entourage?
No.
The agent in Entourage, the guy who he's based off of, is the guy who's bought UFC. So
Right.
he's an absolute crazy
I'm
talent
going to be honest,
agent.
I think Entourage is absolute bollocks. So.
Yeah, it is, but
That bloke that's in Entourage came on WWE and said Summerfest. That's my contribution to this discussion about
Jeremy
Entourage.
Piven.
Yeah.
that's the guy from he plays the guy who's actually took over UFC. So they definitely do like money. Like, they represent loads of ridiculous people in Hollywood. So yeah, it's probably more towards Brock Lesnar's probably going to get a title shot.
Fucking brilliant. If he does, it's definitely getting covered on this show again.
Yeah, definitely. Of course it
Because
is. We're going to cover all Brock Lesnar's fights.
we can cover anything that Brock Lesnar does.
Yeah.
If Brock Lesnar took a shit, I'd be like, well done.
If Brock Lesnar drinks a Coors Light because Bud Light's not paying him nothing, we'll cover it.
Did you notice that in the press conference he went, I'm going to drink a Coors Light, Bud Light, like a bit.
Yeah, but somebody had asked him about that before as well.
Yeah, he said something like, I drank 2 beers that night, one for the fans and one for me.
Also, just as a final sort of way to wrap all this up, how funny was it seeing Brock Lesnar, the uniter of the world, saying, we all need to be together now, people. Brock Lesnar, who famously hates everyone, and explicitly at one time said, I don't like the gays, put that in your report. Saying, everyone needs to get together now and unite. Brock Lesnar is going to be the king of the world,
Yeah,
and
but
he's
I
going to
don't think-
unite the world.
I don't think he'd met a gay person before.
Probably not.
But he's been in locker room with Darren Young, and Darren Young's not tried to bomb him, so he's all right with gays now.
Is it after was that before or after they made Darren Young great again?
It was before they made him great again,
So
but
they like
he was
him,
already gay.
They like him even more.
So now
though.
he'll be coming out in rainbow shorts.
They
Yeah.
like him even more. But no, he won't, because Darren Young's character's not gay. Do you not remember Stephanie McMahon said that?
Yeah.
Once. Darren Young's character's not gay. Real Darren Young is gay, but his character's not gay. Who fucking cares whether his character's gay or not? His fucking name is Darren Young. I don't give a shit one way or another.
Yeah.
All I care is that he does the crossface chicken wing on Rusev and beats him. Not Rusev, he's facing. Oh,
Yeah, he's facing the Miz.
shame. Genuine shame.
Zack Ryder will probably beat him, so that'll be fine.
Yeah, but we don't like that right on the show.
No. That, for once, we will be united in our pulling for Rusev on that one. I can guarantee you that on Battleground, all three of us pulling for Rusev. Dan more so than the rest of us, but Dan, all of us nonetheless. with that, then we're going to move on to the hot topic of last week that we're still going to talk about anyway. The final deletion. And we're also going to tie it into the Wyatt compound.
Can we prepare the podcast for massacre?
We're preparing the podcast for massacre after this.
Prepare the battlefield for massacre. Delightful! It's an extraordinary xylophone. Gracias.
Podcasties! I knew you'd come. Not in that way, just, you'd arrive and listen to the podcast. Final deletion. I wouldn't say looking forward to this, I'd probably more say dreading this ever since this was on telly.
I get the feeling that you didn't enjoy it.
I am going to talk about it with you and Daryl. Isn't that right, Daryl?
Yeah, that's right. We'll talk about it.
So, we've agreed to shake it up a little bit. We're going to talk about the final deletion and we're going to make some comparisons to the WWE's own Wyatt compound vignette, if you like, from Monday Night Raw. Let's get into it. Let's get talking about the final deletion. Now, I deliberately watched the final deletion from Impact. I know there's a director's cut out there. I don't know if it just chucks what I've seen together or if there's more stuff, but I deliberately wanted to know how it fits into the TNA show.
So you watched an episode of Impact?
I fast forwarded through all the Impact to watch the final
So
deletion.
what do you mean, what's how it fit into the show?
Well, this is what I'm about to explain to you, Daryl, if you want to listen.
I don't listen to you in person or after we've recorded either.
I know. So essentially, it was interwoven into the episode of Impact. It wasn't just all one block at the end. There were different parts of what you've seen that were put into different parts of the episode. And, like, I've obviously explicitly said I don't like watching TNA. I don't like TNA. TNA is pretty awful. And I stand by all of that. So it was very odd to see that this was almost like as if... I mean, it was blatant that they just chopped this in at random parts. It was like flipping from one show to another. Because they did the little wrestling thing or whatever. Eddie Edwards won a title or something, and then they had a big argument. And
He won the X Division title.
I don't even know what's in TNA anymore. Bobby Lashley was in it. Oh, Drew Galloway is having an argument with Derek Bateman.
You like Drew Galloway, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
I like Derek Bateman. I won't watch TNA, though.
No.
Fucking dog wankers, fuck.
Well, I literally only watched it for this. Because I figured it was important to see how this benefits TNA. Because surely the whole point of this is to benefit the company, is it not?
Or is it to benefit Matt and Jeff Hardy?
Well, this is what we're getting on to.
And Jeremy Borash's extensive collection of drones.
Yeah, he's... I've listened to an interview with him.
Fucking loves a drone.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
Well, he'd have been fucking wanking over this then. Fucking hell. So it starts off with Matt's sort of overacting thing, him and his kid. His kid's name is Maxwell, right? First of all...
This is going to be like the Dolph Ziggler rant all over again, Dan. You can probably take your headphones off. We can chill out. Well, I might even have a cheeky vape. It's fine.
Literally, every time he mentions something from this, I'm going to turn away and laugh because of how much I enjoy it.
Don't turn away. Don't hide your... Don't have shame of your enjoyment.
No, it's not shame.
Just call him Maxwell, right? Give him a proper name, or don't call him it at all.
Do Maxell make videotapes?
Yes, they did. Fucking hell.
That's where it's from, I think.
His kid's named after VHS tapes.
Yep.
Hold on, Matt. And
I bet he were a keen collector of videotapes from back in the day.
He definitely was.
That's where he got the idea.
That's where he filmed all his Amiga shows on, which essentially this is. Let's be honest. That's what TNA is now. It's Amiga plus other wrestlers sometimes, if they're lucky. So, starts off with this bit, and then there's a drone flying in, flies at like Jeff Hardy or whatever.
Wait, are we skipping like bits out because there's like funny bits that you've missed from just where the kid is?
Well, go on then. You talk. Go on.
Senor Benjamin.
Yeah.
Prepare the battlefield for massacre.
The xylophone bit.
That was quite funny. I'll give you that one.
Just anything. And the thing they did with Rebby Sky talking to Señor Benjamin, and he's her dad, right?
I don't have a clue.
Apparently,
Is that fucking dad?
Yeah, I think it's her dad.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah. So there's a bit where he's like, is Matt okay? And they talk to each other in Spanish, and it's clear that she's kind of just like, he's not crazy, he's just thing, but you just let him do what he wants, and he'll be fine. And Señor Benjamin's just like, okay, I will prepare the battlefield for massacre.
He also did a little warning as well. Let's not forget that. The whole start of the thing is him doing a warning in Spanish with subtitles.
Señor Benjamin's
This is
great.
all done by professionals. Yeah. So. I will say this much. After having watched the previous vignette, and we talked about this on here, I did explicitly say they need to give the gardener more time. I didn't quite expect them to give him quite as much time as they did, but nonetheless, they did at least acquiesce to that particular request.
Can I point out, like, having made like little shitty films and heard feedback from tutors giving students advice
on an actual degree level?
Yeah. And you've said, give that gardener a bit more time. I've seen students change the films completely and make things like based around a different character, only for the tutors to then go, I didn't mean that much time, and then they have to start all over again, and it's piss funny.
This is essentially what's happened here.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Señor Benjamin is brilliant. He was on the perfect amount of time.
Dan's already bought the Señor Benjamin t-shirt, which is available.
I'm not buying from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Why?
They fuck people over, apparently.
Oh.
Allegedly.
What?
Oh, careful.
Well, firstly, when we get 5,000 fucking followers on Twitter, I'm setting one up and setting up my dodgy t-shirt company.
I
so
just
don't fucking badmouth them. That's a potential sponsor.
I see more negative comment.
If you want to bleep something out, bleep that.
Yeah.
I see more negative reviews of their service than positive ones.
He was still right to bleep out what you said earlier. That's just
I'm a fan. I got my Bullet Club t-shirt from them. They've not ripped me off. I like your Pro Wrestling tees. I'd quite like to do business with you when we get 5,000 followers on Twitter. We're on about 10. So
okay.
I haven't bought anything from you, but I have.
But you would.
I've got no particular beef with you. Although I'm annoyed that CM Punk's selling wrestling t-shirts through you. So
do you not want to monetize this?
Well, it's not their fault. Like, no, it's fine. I'm okay with them doing it. I'm just annoyed at CM Punk in general.
Let's move on before we completely burn the bridge.
So, the drone's got a Terminator
Vanguard
thing.
1.
Yeah, yes, Vanguard 1 has a Terminator thing because it's like fucking 1985 and we're still referencing the Terminator at this point.
Yeah, but do you not like the little Vanguard 1 thing? Do you not think that's pretty funny?
It was you know what? Here's my full opinion on Vanguard 1. Fuck off with your hologram drone, right? That was bollocks.
No, the name of it as Vanguard 1, V1. Do you not think that's funny?
And he gave the V1 sign as well.
Oh, do you know what? That's actually better than I thought. I'd not even thought about that, to be honest.
There's loads of stuff like that in this. Like,
of course there
it's
is,
unbelievable.
though. Of course
On
there is.
Impact, did they show the garden and what happens to the garden? Or was that just a director's cut thing?
It got burned.
Not burnt. Jeff Hardy's garden, where it shows him mowing his lawn and stuff, and he puts all that shitty tribal stuff on. And then after the Vanguard 1 thing, Jeff Hardy goes and chases Vanguard 1 out.
Yes, they did. They did show him chasing stuff on bikes. That was pretty funny. Chasing the drone on a very slow bike.
Yeah. But then, while that's happening, Matt Hardy goes to Jeff's house, gets his lawnmower, and rides it across his garden, ruining all his tribal gardening with his arms aloft, laughing. It's one of the best screenshots I've ever had.
I have actually seen that, but I don't think it was on the Impact version. So they've already cut one of the best bits from the actual thing that's supposed to promote this.
Just superb. That bit had me in tears. I had to pause it and stop, and I was in tears at that.
I really did enjoy Jeff chasing drones on a bike. That does seem like the sort. But I imagine in his head it was like, the demons are here again. Get the demons away from me. Run him over with the bike. Demons. So then on Impact, like, they go through all the fucking Impact bollocks. I don't know, Rockstar Spot or his mates, and then they go back to the final deletion for the main event. And Jeff Hardy turns up in the ring, and he's like, "Oh, brother Nero, I know you'd come," or whatever else like that.
After he summons him with a violin that he'd got personally from Van Strauss, I believe.
No, it's Antonio. Yeah, Antonio something.
Yeah.
Stradivaris.
Yeah.
Because that machine's called the Stradivarius, isn't it? That he actually did create an instrument. It's not a violin, but he did create it. Matt Hardy summons him by playing a weird violin. Because, so they did show the official drive into the ring as well.
Yeah, without a seatbelt on. What? Fuck it, it's dangerous enough being a referee.
Yeah, as long as it's a licensed official.
Yeah, but you should
So all
have
they has
seen
to
that.
count is the pinfall or record the submission.
Fucking hell.
If I've taken anything away from that, is that the submission is a funny word.
Here's when it's pronounced like that. So then this match starts, right? And it was different to what I thought it was going to be, which I'll go into in a minute. But why do they start this match, right? This is a match to the death or whatever.
To the deletion.
To the deletion, yeah, sure. Okay, Matt sent his laser drone guards to go and shoot Jeff down. Jeff's nearly killed him, and Matt's set his garden on. Matt's cut his garden up and all that.
Let's prepare it for massacre. Is what
So when they're in the ring, what do? They look like they're about to lock up.
They didn't lock up though, did they?
They were gonna though. I swear to God, they're both almost, and clearly at some point someone must have gone, oh, probably shouldn't lock up because this is supposed to be a fight to the death. So let's not. They're sort of circling each other as if, and one of them, I swear, at one point almost goes for a lockup, and then I think Matt like smacks Jeff to. It's fucking basic shit. Fucking hell. So then it jumps between like move after move. On Impact, I don't know. On the director's cut, was it the whole thing unedited?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
1 17-minute video.
So it looks like a match.
Yeah. Well,
Because on Impact, it doesn't look like. I mean, it does look like a match, and it doesn't look like a match. It looks like a highlights package of a match.
Yeah, it's essentially a highlights package. of the
Yeah.
match, yeah.
well, a lot of the stuff in the match was calling back to previous matches they've had. So, like, him climbing up the tree and doing the swanton bomb through the
we'll get
ladder.
to. Yeah, which
Yeah, like that was done in the previous match and beat Matt Hardy, and that's how he became Broken Matt Hardy and stuff. So they did a lot of callbacks to their
What,
previous
so in a
matches.
previous match, he climbed up a tree?
Not a tree, he climbed to the top of the impact zone
Oh,
and came
right,
off the
okay.
scaffolding
Right.
above the in the rafters.
He does that every fucking 10 minutes, though, Jeff Hardy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's like, Jeff, do you want some salad? Oh, you've gone to the top of the impact zone again.
Is there a
Fuck
fire
no.
up there again?
No, it's just Jeff Hardy. Just leave him; he'll be fine. The swanton out of a tree. Just since you've brought it up, I thought that was a really cool idea, and incredibly poorly executed. Because not only does he look like he fucking overshoots him, he lands. Does he land like half on the?
He pretty much
weird.
back of his head hits the.
Matt
hits
moves.
Matt.
Matt moves, and he nearly decapitates himself because back of his head hits that ladder.
Yeah, on that fucking ladder that's like a
Yeah.
proper normal people ladder
Yeah.
that most people have, not like the wrestling ladders that you bring into the middle of the ring.
See, the one criticism I'd throw at this is the fact that they're
The
shooting
one
this.
criticism. You have
Yeah,
one criticism
only one.
I've got a few, but we're going
The one
for
thing
Fuck
is,
off.
with how they shot it, they could work the match in a safer way and make it look more brutal. But it turns out Jeff Hardy just went, no, fuck it, I'll jump out of a tree and nearly decapitate myself.
We'll get to why they didn't do that, won't we?
He fucking hates it. Like, you really love it. He fucking hates it. And I think I'm coming at it level-headed,
Oh, yeah.
which is mental.
I'm going to reserve my opinion of it until we're finished talking about it. That's what
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about it. So then they start shooting each other with fireworks.
Right.
I couldn't get to the end of that sentence.
No, but right. When we saw that preview video and we were excited, weren't it because they were shooting each other with fireworks?
Yes, it absolutely was. Yeah. I should clarify, I don't have a problem with that specifically. I will question, however, though, why wouldn't you just shoot him with the fireworks first?
Because you didn't get to him, did he?
But if you're going to shoot at somebody with fire, if I'm like Matt Hardy, I'm like, oh, brother Nero, come into the ring. Fireworks in the face, now you're dead.
Yeah, but
I win 4 seconds.
He wouldn't have gone, would he? Like,
How dead? Fireworks. in
no,
the face.
because like he had to summon him with the violin.
Yeah, and then
How would he? Right, so then he summons him.
You think Jeff wouldn't have gone in the ring?
No, because Jeff arrives, then he's got to put the violin down.
Go and get the fireworks.
Yeah, get the fireworks. But in that time,
No, but he
Jeff,
didn't get the fireworks. That's my point.
yeah, but Jeff would have beat him up, wouldn't he?
And stood around him as if he was going to lock up.
Yeah, because Jeff was there.
He'd have had to go outside the ring to
Oh, yeah,
light
he
them
brings Jeff
anyway.
in. He's like, all right, mate, we're going to have a wrestling match. He's like, oh, rolled out. I got fireworks. Dead. Fireworks in the head.
There
Yeah,
was-
you see the problem?
The fireworks lead to 2 great moments in this match. First off, Matt Hardy drops character. Like
What?
after he shoots Jeff with all the fireworks and everything, and then he's going around going, Brother Nero, and doing all that stuff, and then he comes around the ring and then close up on his face and he just goes, shit. Like, he actually drops character and just, well, they bleep it out, but I don't know if this was on the director's cut.
Yeah,
I don't know if they showed the episode.
I don't think that was dropping character.
No, like the way
Oh,
he
you
says
mean,
it,
right,
he
okay.
like drops the facade of thing and just goes shit
You mean
and
within
starts
the thing?
running.
no,
Yeah,
okay.
as Jeff Hardy, which was a great shot. It was really well done. And then he discovers A dilapidated boat.
Fucking dilapidated boat, Jesus. That was a good line. Again, I'll give it credit where credit's due. That was a pretty fucking funny line. Then Willow turns up. Fucking Willow turns up after he's I don't know if he's tried to drown him or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Willow turns up. Why the fuck does Willow turn up?
Because it plays into the whole story.
Why?
Because after Matt Hardy got
Keep
injured...
in mind that I don't watch TNA.
Okay, so
better things to do.
After the ladder thing where Matt Hardy got injured and everything, Willow started showing up and attacking Jeff Hardy, even though Willow is Jeff Hardy. And eventually it was revealed to be Matt. But there was 3 or 4 different Willows, and it was something they'd built before this even happened, where Willow was just around backstage and stuff. So yeah, that played into that Willow would appear and attack Matt as well. And I thought that was really well done as well, where it was clearly building to a nice big moment, and then Willow appears in the background, and it's nice, oh, Willow's there. I didn't mind that at all, especially because it brought Senor Benjamin back into it.
This is literally the point at which I thought at least they gave the Gardener more stuff to do. Yeah, because doesn't it takes the mask off, and it's the mask under the mask.
Well, Senor Benjamin comes in and tases him.
No, that's after it.
No, he tases him, and then Willow grabs Senor Benjamin, they disappear, and then Matt finds Willow on the floor.
I literally lost, sort of.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense from a narrative point,
He gets the pinfall, and then they take off the mask, and it's actually Senor Benjamin.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Hardy appears again.
Comes back and chokes him out because Jeff's all into MMA now.
Yeah.
Because he's so fucking cool.
He learned it from Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, exactly. JEFF, double MA, version 2, version 1.
I like JEFF, ain't I great? That's the Jeff Jarrett I like.
We know, Daryl. Everyone knows now.
Yeah.
What about the original Double J?
He's alright as well.
Yeah, exactly. Don't play favourites.
No.
Don't upset them. Then it goes into some fucking flashbacks. They've got flashbacks and shit.
Yeah, they go into a bit that's been dug out. There's a bit in the director's cut earlier on where Rebby Sky comes out to bring Senor Benjamin a drink or something. She's like, "What are you doing?" And he's there pouring gasoline on the floor and stuff. He's like, "I'm preparing the battlefield for massacre." Yeah, of course he is. And then you find out what he was preparing. So Jeff chokes out Matt, and instead of going for the pinfall like he always does because he's a daredevil, he climbs a giant Jeff Hardy logo that's dug into the ground. To go and do
a General Hardy Boyz logo.
Yeah, he goes to do the big swanton bomb off it, but then there's flashbacks, and that's the bit that does. It's a bit confusing. I guess it's the candle from Maxwell's birthday cake, and Rebby's the one who hands it him, but you don't actually see her.
So it's not a flashback. It's this happened, by the way.
It's something.
No. I'll explain.
Please fucking do.
It's a combination of a flashback and a current time scene. So you actually see at the start the candle being lit, and Matt Hardy says that this is the flame that will end or delete Jeff Hardy, whatever the fuck he says. So then you get the flashback to that combined with Rebby Sky passing him the candle while he's laid on the floor.
Yeah, he sets the giant Hardy Boyz logo on fire.
It's confusing.
Cheers. Genuinely, thank you for explaining that because it wasn't made clear on the show.
Okay. I've watched it several times.
Thank you.
So yeah, he sets the giant Hardy Boyz logo on fire. Jeff falls off into a heap. Matt drags him out from the fire and pins him and deletes Brother Nero.
Pins him, so he's deleted.
Yes.
Whilst he's dead.
It's over.
He's not dead, he just pinned him.
Is he not dead?
No, he's just deleted.
See, I thought the point of deleting him was that he was dead.
No, he was deleting him from...
Because the most recent video makes it very much look like he's supposed to be dead.
So yeah, on
He
Impact...
chucks his remains in a fucking lake.
No, it was his material remains.
Yeah, it's just material remains, like his clothes and that.
Of the Jeff Hardy brand that was ruining the Hardy brand in general. So we'll quickly talk about stuff that was Impact this week, because we watched it before we started recording. They did a video...
We watched all of it, because we've missed the part with Mick Mann.
Well, I've not seen that. So
no, neither have I.
The ones
we haven't watched it.
The ones on the TNA official YouTube page, because Impact
one of which apparently talks about Mick Mann and Matt Hardy not wanting Jeff to go back to Mick Mann. Mick Mahan, that's how it says. Yeah.
But the main one that was great was Matt goes up and talks to the dilapidated boat. He names her, and then sails out.
Your opinion, it was great, but
it was.
It wasn't.
He sails out and dumps Hardy's... Vanguard 1 brings Jeff's shirt that he was wearing in the final Deletion match.
Right, I really wish we were recording, filming this, because Graham's face, every time Dan thinks he's making a good point, Graham looks at me with disapproving eyes, going, he really liked this, he enjoyed it, and I fucking hated it.
I know you did, Dan.
He dumps his material possessions, and there was a few other bits, but Graham, give your opinion of the match, finally.
Right. Here's my thing with the match, okay? Genuinely, I don't dislike the concept. The concept is good. Okay, and I'll get onto that a bit more in the Wyatt compound about things that worked in that and things that didn't. I think the concept is great, but my problem with it is it's the Emperor's New Clothes of wrestling, because everyone's going, oh, this is fucking brilliant, it's great, this is fucking... But eventually someone's got to go in, that's Matt Hardy being a knobhead with his brother, and they put it on telly, and no one's making any fucking money off of it. You know what it is? I tell you what it is.
Matt's making money off it.
Is he though?
He's got shirts.
Yeah, he's got them. I bet them shirts coming to top sellers.
Right, so he's making money off it.
Yeah,
okay,
I bet
fair enough. Yeah, that's fine. And TNA are giving him the chance to do this.
Yeah.
Do you think they're making any money off those fucking shirts?
They're definitely not making money off the shirts, and I'll tell you what they fucked up on with the video as well. I
was going to say this, but go on.
Okay, so they originally uploaded the director's cut to their YouTube channel.
Yep.
And then promptly took it down before Impact aired everywhere in the world. However, somebody had ripped it from there and uploaded it onto their own account. TNA didn't put it back onto their account till Impact had aired globally. But that video had at least 1 million views, I reckon.
Yeah.
Which if they'd have monetized, they'd have made some money off.
A good 20 from me, probably.
Yeah.
Because it got pirated. That pirated one was on, wasn't it? That was making all the views.
And they didn't action that to take it down, because they could have reported it to YouTube and said it's our copyright, get it taken down, but they didn't. So they've lost out on a lot of money there from doing that.
See, here's my view on it. I really enjoyed
I actually
it.
have some more to say.
Sorry, go on.
Here's what it comes down to, right? I'll tell you what. You say what you're going to say, because I'm trying to figure out exactly how to say what I want to say.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It is the Hardys fucking around.
I'll get
genuinely.
Thank you for saying that, by the way.
Genuinely, Jeremy Borash showed up there, and they just looked around the Hardy compound and just went, "Oh, this will work for something. This will work." Apparently, there's tons more footage that they're trying to eventually release. Jeff Hardy's got a giant alien statue in his garden, and there's something filmed about that. There's loads of weird stuff at their place, and they just went, "Oh, we can use something with this, we can do something with that," and they just fucked around and created this big video out of it. What I really liked about it is that I was genuinely entertained for the entirety of the video. I thought it was really funny. I just sat there and had a big smile on my face, and I can't remember the last time WWE really did that for me. I enjoy watching WWE. I'll watch the pay-per-views and stuff like that. I'll watch matches and I enjoy matches.
You don't watch Raw.
Yeah, I don't watch Raw, but I watch the pay-per-views.
Couldn't not. Come on.
But this was the first thing that I genuinely really, really loved, because it was fun and it was kind of silly. And as much as I really like my Japanese wrestling because it's serious and they take it it's very competitive. This is the exact opposite of that, and I like that in my wrestling too.
Didn't Kenny Omega wrestle like a blow-up doll once?
That was indeed. I don't really follow DDT that much. That was in DDT
so
many years ago.
Japanese wrestling serious.
New Japan.
I would just
in New Japan.
Dan, I would be a dick.
Yeah.
Great Muta once spat mist into a woman's fanny, and it gave birth to Akabono. That happened in Japan. So let's not generalise the Japanese by saying this is serious.
Okay, I'll be fair. New Japan. But yeah,
don't say all Japanese are the same.
It was a thing where I've managed to show it. I waited for my partner to come back from work, and I showed it her, and she loved it. And I have to struggle to get her to watch wrestling. I showed it to a friend at work who hasn't ever watched wrestling.
I'm done.
Are you done?
Yeah,
I'll end the podcast for you, mate.
I showed it to a guy at work who doesn't watch wrestling, and he enjoyed it.
You're telling people that they like this, right? No.
Do you know all these people? Have you promoted our podcast to them?
Yeah.
Do they listen?
Probably not, because he doesn't watch wrestling. So
Right.
he wouldn't want to listen to a wrestling podcast every week.
But you made him watch a wrestling video.
See,
I said it's entertaining, get a watch, and he was just like, "This is ridiculous," but yeah, it was funny.
But this is my issue with it, right? This is genuinely where it comes from. Okay, where's this all going? Where's it going? It's going to more of these shit videos, right? Each one more ludicrous than the last. It's going to go to more broken Matt Hardy, more of Maxwell.
That really winds you up, doesn't it?
Get a real name. And what it is, I tell you the thing I could actually compare it to, and I don't. you remember the FA Cup final? And then, but hear me out, right? When Crystal Palace scored their goal and Alan Pardew did his little dance.
That what fucking meant.
But was it? Because
Yeah.
you know that at home, he was fucking sitting in front of the mirror going, well, when we score, what will I do? I know, I'll do my little dance and everyone will remember it forever. And this is what this is.
What?
This is the Hardy Boyz version of, we'll do this fucking mad thing and it'll be brilliant and everyone will remember it forever.
Yeah.
But they're not... What we find funny about it is... What we find funny about it, I think they're genuinely mental. I think they're genuinely mental and they think what they've created is brilliant. I don't believe that Matt Hardy thinks that he's being an ironic, funny character. I think he thinks he's created something brilliant. And what he's instead created is an amusing video that will lead to nothing.
This is the room of professional wrestling. Have you seen The Room?
Yes, I know what you're talking about, yes.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen The Room is possibly the worst movie ever made, but the creator of it at the time thought it was the best thing ever. He spent a lot of money making it, and he thought it was brilliant, and it's dog shit, but it's so good because it's so bad. Whereas this, you said earlier about it where does it go, does it make money? It gave Impact one of its highest ratings, like its highest rating on Pop TV, and people are genuinely interested in TNA
if I
right
started
now.
watching it, it'd spike by like 70%. Like, fuck me.
Yeah, the ratings are crap, but people are actually interested in TNA now, and they're going, I want
No,
to see
they're not.
what's going on.
No,
Nah,
this
that's
is
where I
my
disagree
issue.
with you.
They're interested in Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. They want to see where this
Exactly.
story's going. But it's a step in the right direction.
No, it's
They're interested
not.
in one character.
It's not a step in the right direction, and this is my real issue with it. It's not a step in the right direction. It's a step in the Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy direction. If they went to WWE tomorrow, they'd be fucking off with all the fucking popularity that this has brought them, and TNA would be left in the shit. Now, I don't like TNA. I've made that explicitly clear. But at the same time, I understand the necessity for TNA, and TNA has to survive. But this, when they're allowing someone to bring in their footage from home and put shit on their television...
That's not really what's
It's
happened.
not a million miles away from what's happened, though, is it?
Well, they sent Jeremy Borash with his production company.
And he wrote it, did he? And TNA booked it.
He
did
collaborated with them.
Yeah, he collaborated with them.
Right.
He's
and
done an
this
interview
wasn't
about
Matt Hardy's idea to begin with.
Well, it might have been his idea to
It was
begin
Matt
with.
Hardy's idea to begin with.
But
I know
was
it
the
was.
Stone Cold character not Stone Cold Steve Austin's idea to begin with?
Right.
Chili McFreeze.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
No,
though.
I'm really not.
No, right? I'm not saying that wrestlers shouldn't have their own ideas. Of course they should, and should bring elements of their character. But what this is all about turning eyes to Matt Hardy. This isn't about turning eyes to Matt Hardy so it can progress what he's doing in TNA, so that it can further the business or whatever. And I'm not too arsed about that, but that's what it is. It's about turn eyes to Matt Hardy, look at what I did. And where does that go from there? Turns some more eyes to Matt Hardy. And when TNA goes down the shit in a month, where does this go?
Yeah, but I mean, the way I look at wrestling is I don't give a fuck about the company as such. I want the wrestlers to make money. I want the wrestlers to be popular. So if Matt Hardy can make money, and I fucking hate Matt Hardy, he's a twat. But if he can make...
You've still not got over the fact that he cancelled on a Twist of Fate, 1PW's first show, have you?
I do not owe you money. But he's a bit of a bellend. But at the same time, if he can make money for himself off this and get more popular, I were interested in this, and I don't fucking like Hardy Boyz. They're shit as fuck. But you know, he's done a job, hasn't he? He's made a fan out of me for these videos.
But why?
Because I thought they were entertaining.
But where's it? This is what it comes down to. Is I don't see where this goes apart from more stupid videos. And beyond that, well, what's this really adding? Because what's really pissing me off, right? It's not that if this was just existing as itself, and people are just going, oh yeah, that's quite good, fine. But there's a lot of people who are saying, this is fucking brilliant. This is breaking down doors. This is a brand new thing. It's not a new thing.
It's not a new thing.
Yeah. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that's what's really... I've found a very difficult way of saying it, but that's what's really pissing me off about it. Is that all this?
So you don't like other people's opinions of it? Is that what you're saying?
It's not as simple as that. What I'm saying is that people are acting like this is something brand new and this is bringing something new to the table. It's not bringing something new to the table. It's putting eyes on Matt Hardy so Matt Hardy can continue to show himself off to be Matt Hardy, so you can act like he is the best wrestler in the world.
But ultimately, Matt Hardy is on TNA, so to see him, even though they are uploading everything to YouTube, which kind of goes against my point, people are tuning into Impact to see him. And by tuning into Impact, they're also going to see, Bobby Lashley, Eddie Edwards.
But people aren't-
all these
You just don't
people.
like it because it's like radically different to anything you've seen before in a wrestling show. Because I understand that if that's your point you're making. Because when I when I watched it first time, I recorded some audio and I was just going to upload it as a commentary over the video. But I was so quiet on it because I was just sat in shock at what I thought was like really shit. Then I rewatched it and watched it a few times because I couldn't upload that because there was no audio on it. Basically, it was me just going, "What? Why has that happened? What?" And it would dog shit. But I rewatched it and I've been like, right, it's not exactly something you see on wrestling. I think Lucha Underground do little bits like it, but I wouldn't know. That's just what I've heard. It's just so radically different to what you're used to. Is that your issue? Because that was my issue to begin with.
Not completely, no. I mean, there is a part of that, but I'm willing to accept that trying different things is good, but I don't get how this fits into where they're going as part of a wrestling promotion.
Well, me neither, because I don't watch the show, so I wouldn't know if they're going to build to an actual match on a actual pay-per-view.
But they already did build to an actual match on a pay-per-view, and essentially, it's like they splice bits of EastEnders with bits of wrestling, right? But if you had the guys from EastEnders come in,
Mitchell Brothers versus Hardy Boyz, TLC
fine,
match.
okay, fine. So you have the Mitchell Brothers come in, but when they come into TNA, into the actual ring and stuff like that, they just act like a wrestler man. And then they go back into EastEnders and they're all fucking lunatics and they're right on. It doesn't tie in. And where does it go? What does it add?
Phil Mitchell and Jeff Hardy would be best mates.
Ultimately, kind of what it is we mentioned Matt Hardy was supposed to be at 1PW. The thing with 1PW was,
I don't know your money.
Yeah, you get people brought in. You have like a big name, and then the hope is you have your big name, and then that puts eyes on the smaller names who are on the show, and that's kind of what they're doing with this.
No, it's not. This right. We're going to have to agree to disagree on this.
I think
we need to move
you're
on.
both making valid points.
Okay.
You're just both at opposite ends of the extreme. Like Dan, you like it too much. Like
I do follow Señor Benjamin on Twitter.
Exactly. Like it's not as funny or groundbreaking as people make it out to be. It's not as shit and like wrestling destroying as you're making it out to be, Graham. It's a middle ground. Basically, if you like it, it's cool. Like whatever. If you don't like it, yeah, that's fine as well. I see your point. Like it's not. I think a couple of years ago, I'd have fucking hated this, but I'm just chilled out now. I'm chilled out kind of guy.
Graham, what just happened on the same week that Brock Lesnar called for peace? Daryl was the level-headed one.
Yeah,
and then just in the talk,
world is ending.
That's
the
why.
world is ending. Can we talk briefly about the Wyatt compound thing?
yes,
Right. I think this is arguably even worse than TNA.
Just before we start that, well, as an opening gambit to this, WWE have a film division. Let me just point that out. Right, discuss.
Right. Now, the reason I didn't have as much problem with the Wyatt compound thing, and I'll explain what I mean. As an actual video itself, it was arguably worse than what TNA did. Because, as you said, for what WWE can achieve, this was fucking dreadful. Right? But it wasn't pitched as a death angle or end of feud. It fits Bray's character.
They came in with videos like this.
And this is what, this. People were complaining for a long time that why aren't they doing shit like this with the Wyatts? So for as much as there are real issues with this, and we'll go on to that in a minute, at least this, I feel like it fits into the angle and it adds something. It furthers what they're doing.
Why is this fit into Bray's character, but it's not fit into Matt Hardy's character when Matt Hardy isn't the Matt Hardy you watched in WWE? He's broken Matt Hardy. So why is it different?
But where's it going though?
No. You're not answering my question. What you've done there is you've answered a question with a question.
Okay, I'm not saying that the Matt Hardy thing doesn't fit into his character in TNA, but when he goes into the Impact Zone, he's just back to being. He's not completely back to being, but he's being Matt Hardy, the wrestler man, right?
He might have a violin. He might be accompanied by Señor Benjamin. We don't know yet. he might somehow make his entrance on a dilapidated boat. I'll be honest, Dan. What I'm doing is trying to wind him up.
Well,
I couldn't tell.
I can add some stuff to the Wyatt compound match because I have my past in horror movies, And there was so many like horror movie like little things in the Wyatt thing. They did like the nice little things where like I can't remember who it was against the tree, and he like takes a breath, and as he does it, the axe hits the side of the tree. Eric Rowan's like swinging an axe at him, and they did like loads of little callbacks to like slasher movie things and like monster movies, which was really I liked those little bits of it. Braun Strowman without a shirt on looks like a fucking like scary guy. Like he looks so different. Like just taking off that muscle shirt.
I think he looks like really unintimidating.
I thought he looked better in this than he has done in any WWE match, apart from the first time that he showed up.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, he was just like, low light screaming at people. It was
low light. Let's talk about that.
That was one of the problems, though. Yeah, the low light and the shaky camera.
Can someone just put a fucking light on it?
No, it was the car headlights, Daryl.
Yeah, but like, can we just shoot it from somewhere that's light?
No, car
I have this
headlights,
problem with Game of Thrones as well. It's all really dark.
I mean, there's a way of shooting.
Can we do a Game of Thrones podcast? It's so dark.
Dear HBO, your show is too dark. Love, Daryl.
But yeah, like it could have been lit a bit better, and then the shaky cam made it near impossible to watch at times. It was just the camera was all over the place, and it kind of took away from it. But it was WWE trying to do something different that was done the week before on TNA.
It was definitely blatantly they did this because TNA did that. Frankly, and even then, I don't think it's because not because TNA. It's because the Hardy Boyz.
I wish they'd let the New Day. I mean, maybe they did, and they just did a bad job. But I wish they'd let the New Day have more of a creative sort of input into it, because I feel like from what we know of them, what we've seen, they'd have, I don't know, made it a bit more enjoyable than it was.
I don't know. I think ultimately, in terms of pluses and minuses of this particular part of this like Wyatt compound thing, at least it added to the Bray Wyatt mythos, because we've long established that he's supposed to be this guy with loads of followers, but we've never actually seen that. But one thing they could have really done, especially with them they occasionally cut to like Eric Rowan with the goat mask on and stuff like that, and then after all this, it just goes back to Michael Cole, and he's like, well, we just saw that. Now we're going to carry on and do more wrestling.
But that's just Michael Cole being shit.
But that's just what they could have done is they could have said, well, they didn't say that. It was said, well, we knew that the New Day was going to go there. We received this footage from the Wyatts, because otherwise, well, why? I know I'm asking too many questions here, but why are all the cameras there? Who's filming all these things? Why is this? Why is that? I realise that I'm probably questioning it too much, and I did the same with the Hardy thing, but if they'd established that it was the Wyatts that sent the footage in, then I could believe it a bit more. But even though it at least did add something to the feud, whereas I feel like the Matt and Jeff thing is all about that, and there's no feud coming, and if there is a feud coming, no one will give a fuck about it. There's ways that they could have done it that would have been much better, and it definitely is a blatant idea rip from the Hardy video. Overall, I don't have anything more to say about either of these, because
this segment is over.
And the podcast is, say it,
over.
There you go. Thank you very much. Right. Thank you very much, Dan.
All right.
Thank you very much, Daryl.
You're welcome.
Don't forget to visit us at royalgrumble.podbean.com or royalgrumble.weebly.com. You can find our information about the Cruiserweight Classic there this week. Hit us up on Twitter. We are at Royal Grumble Pod. We'll be live tweeting the draft episode next week, and we'll be discussing it on next week's show. And if you want to send us an email, you can send us an email at royalgrumblepod@gmail.com. Anything else? Facebook.
Yeah, so probably like us on Facebook, can't they?
Yes, like us on Facebook, as some people have been
Subscribe
doing.
on iTunes.
Subscribe on iTunes, and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Royal.
I posted some on Facebook earlier, just quickly. It was just, you can do a fake draft on WWE.com. Do that.
I thought you were talking about the fact that you posted that you got all the action figures right.
Oh, yeah, I did that as well, but yeah.
Of course you did. Say goodbye, Daryl.
Goodbye, Daryl.
Say goodbye, Dan.
Bye.
Goodbye.